the curtsy lunge. Reason I asked, wouldn't those cause... Alright.
No, it's like a fucking weird one,
I'm gonna
dude.
re-ask this. Next question, leave machine man.
This fucker. Oh, shit.
Alright. Next question. We live?
We're live.
Alright, here we go, guys. This is the Q&A that we made a post about like almost 2 weeks ago. Sorry, it's been so long, but things have been really hectic. So we basically wrote everybody's name in a hat again like last time, and Taylor's gonna pull one of those names, everyone who asked a question, a legitimate question. We threw their name.
We got a lot of trolls out there. Should we do this?
Alright, pull a name out.
I can't read your handwriting.
Alright, I'll
So,
hold on, throw that back in there.
alright. Don't look.
Johnny Hall 980.
Cool. Johnny Hall, you're the winner.
You want to fire off these questions there?
So Johnny Hall 980, who is the winner, asked, what's the best macro tracking app? MyFitnessPal. I mean, I know there's a lot of other ones, but I think MyFitnessPal is the most used and pretty popular. And
MyFitnessPal is the one I use just because it's such a huge database, and there's so many different foods. You can scan it right there if you're scanning a barcode, and they even have like, you know, a really good amount of restaurants on there. If you're a flexible dieter or something, or you go out and you're still trying to track your calories, track your macros, you can get Taco Bell. You can order off the menu there. Like it's just such a huge database. So yeah, MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, I like how you can scan the food. Like you go to the grocery store and you buy a certain item and you can scan it with the app, and it'll pull up all the, you know, macronutrients from that item on your app. So it's really easy to track everything on that.
All right, next question I'm going to ask this off of Taylor is from, I actually know this dude. He's a Pendleton Marine. K806. He wants to know, how long do you personally cycle a strength training phase to develop the most gain in a given period? Taylor has a background in powerlifting, so he's more of our strength guy. He's our strength coach. So you can answer that. How long would you cycle a strength training? Just like somebody might diet for 12 weeks.
Yeah, right. Well, most of the programs are about 3 months long. You know, it's the same as when you buy any training program. It's, you know, it's like usually a 3 month long program, and you follow it to the end, and you're gonna get stronger. They're designed so that you don't plateau and everything. But as far as cycling them, I'll do one and then I'll try another one. I've tried a lot of them. You kind of find out your favorites, what works best for you, and then I guess you just keep rotating, or you kind of develop your own methods and train that way. What supplements bundles do you trust most to fulfill your body's needs while actively being fit? Supplement bundles.
Supplements for, I'm gonna assume you're working out and trying to live a healthy lifestyle, and obviously not training like hardcore. But if the primary goal is to be fit, first you need to figure out how many calories your body needs. You need to be eating towards your goal calorically, but at the same time, if health and wellness is the priority, then certain foods, vitamins, minerals do come into play. So if we're talking supplements, the only thing I would say for being healthy is the basics, the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, the coenzymes, the actual things your body needs, omega-3s. So it's not going to be any of those supplements that are stimmed out. Caffeine, it's B12, B6, B10. C, D, enzymes, probiotics, fiber supplements. Yeah, and if you don't like eating, and you can go all those from greens, which is absolutely the most optimal way. But if a lot of people don't like to eat greens. Right now, I'm eating so much food, I don't like to eat greens. So that's when I supplement with those vitamins, minerals, omegas, and so those things have to be there for your body to function optimally. If you're not getting enough vitamins, minerals, your body's going to pull that from your lean tissue. So obviously it's not going to be as recovered as it could be. So if health and wellness is your ultimate goal, really don't forget your greens or your vitamins, and really stay away from the other supplements that they try to push towards you.
Yeah. All right, next question. What's the best way to build lean muscle? I love answering this question.
What's the best way to build lean muscle?
I mean, the best way to build lean muscle is to be in a caloric surplus. The only way to really build muscle is to have the calories there to repair the damage that you're doing in the gym. Everybody's always very misconstrued about when they come to us, like, oh, I want to get lean, I want to build muscle. Well, that's like two different things. You know, you're either going to get lean or you're going to build muscle. Yeah, when you're burning body fat, you're going to look like you're building muscle. You're going to be looking like you're getting bigger. But it's all really an illusion. It's just you're stripping the fat and the muscle underneath is coming through. So to build muscle, you need to be in a caloric surplus.
Yeah, that's a good point. 90% of the people that come to us want to build fat, burn muscle. And for someone that's a beginner, they call it recomposition. So if you're a beginner, it's not the most optimal way to do it. If you don't know how much you should be eating to burn fat, or you don't know how much you need to be eating to be in a surplus, then it may be in your benefit to reach out to someone like us to help you, coach you through your nutrition. But yeah, the best way to build muscle is make sure the calories are there. A substantial amount of protein. You know, a lot of people will recommend 1 gram per pound, 1.5. You know, if you're trying to grow, you need to be eating. I'd be getting 2 grams per pound of just protein, right? That's the substrate that your body's going to be building with. Yeah. Ultimately, the calories have to be there. So you can be eating 450 grams of protein and you're under eating because your carb or fat intake was too low, and you're still not going to be growing very much. You're going to be in that recomp stage.
Right.
So make sure the scale is going up. Again, here's where it differs. When you're losing weight, the scale doesn't always go down, but you can considerably can see a difference in burning fat. If you're not gaining weight, then there's a good indicator that you're not really putting on a good amount of muscle.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will plateau in weight gain and still be, you know, getting bigger, stronger. But you got to make sure that your weight is consistently going up, and you got to know how much to eat, and so you got to figure that out for yourself first. All right. Okay, next question. Lean Machine Matt, when trying to gain emphasis on the glute, would you want to do a curtsy lunge? Reason I ask, wouldn't cause stretching on the tendons, because the knee joint isn't meant to hinge that direction. This is my favorite question.
I'm glad someone asked
this. Because so many people do this. Girls especially, I hate to pick on girls, sorry, but you guys do this. What Matt's talking about when you do show them a curtsy lunge here.
Yeah.
And I've seen this done by so many women, especially in the gym. And I feel like it's spreading because, you know, one person sees it and, oh, that person has a nice butt. Oh, I'm going to do that. When it's like, you know, this is just like, this is bad technique and bad form spreading because somebody who maybe already had a really nice butt before they even started doing this, you know, they see him doing it. Oh man, I need to do those now. That looks like it really works. But you got to keep in mind that if you're trying to gain emphasis on the glutes, it's not so much about the way that you hinge your hip or your knee. It's about putting heavy load on that muscle while it's fully lengthened. And that's going to be at depth in your squat or your lunge executions. So heavy load under squats, lunges are going to emphasize your glutes way better than any tweaking and turning. It's like when people do bicep curls because they think they're going to work their outer, their inner head, and they're, you know, putting all this emphasis on connective tissue when really that muscle's, you know, is supposed to take maximal load, right? So your body likes to work in straight lines, okay? Straight up and supinating at the wrist, not in or out, right? Because it's all relative to your humerus anyways. Same with the glute. If you want to activate your glute properly, twisting your body and turning it on all kinds of crazy positions is just going to increase the wear and tear on your ankles, on your knees, on your hips, okay? Your body wants to move in one direction. It doesn't want to squat in all these crazy directions. It's a very basic movement, and I think girls, you know, really get wrapped up in different stuff and things they've never seen before when truly it's the basics that are going to get your best results. So, you know, if you're trying to get emphasis on your glutes, I would knock off all the crazy techniques and just increase the intensity on those basic compound movements. Go back to the basics for sure. Okay, next question is from Twee. What's the quickest way to cut water for a photo shoot when you're not in full on prep mode? If you're just dieting down to do a show or do a photo shoot, or maybe even get lean for, like, you know, Vegas at Web Republic or something, and you're trying to look good, you're trying to peak for a day or a weekend or something, and you want to cut water. Here's the deal. If you're not lean enough, cutting water really isn't going to do that much for you. And I see this happen a lot. I'm going to cut water and I'm going to lose all this and it's going to make me look shredded. No, dude, you got to be shredded before you cut water. Quickest way to cut water. Well, you got to give yourself at least you got to give yourself at least 5 days to play with water, because you got to load up on water, right? You got to be drinking a lot of water. You know, however much you're used to, you got to increase that, you know, maybe 150, 200%. So once you get your body used to getting rid of water, you're taking in a lot of water. Now your body's getting the signal. It's a hydration hormone, antidiuretic hormone. It signals that it's getting water. It's got plenty of water. We can just get rid of all this, right? So step one, you're not going to hold a water just because you're drinking a lot of water. And step two, you're going to have to cut that water, right? So after about 2-3 days of drinking maybe 2 or 3 gallons, you have to abruptly stop that. Right now, your body still thinks that it's getting plenty of water, but it's flushing everything out. You're not taking any in, and it's still flushing water out. Now, depending on how serious you want to take it, you could kick in the diuretic. Dandelion root's a really natural one.
Popular.
Yeah, Expel is a good one too, and that's just gonna flush even more water out of your system. Final step: cut your sodium. Okay, now your body's not gonna hold on to any, right? And you were drinking a whole lot of water before, and so all those electrolytes are being flushed out of your system. Now you don't have any sodium in your system. That's where it gets hard. Now you can't swallow. It is painful. You thought you were hungry from dieting. Once you cut water, then it's like that's your last life form. Yeah. It's like I don't even care about food anymore. I want water.
Your body thinks you're dying.
Your body thinks you're basically in a drought and you're pretty much going to die. So it only wants one thing is water, and it's pretty brutal and it's very, very dangerous. So again, I wouldn't even play with water unless you're lean enough. And then cutting water could be as simple as drinking 3 gallons of water a day to flush out sub-Q water, or going as far as taking gnarly diuretics, which I don't recommend because it's very dangerous. You dehydrate your internal organs and they will shut down. Yeah. So that's no joke, but to each their own. Okay, next question. LJ93. I want to do a show in July in San Diego. My question is, how many weeks out should I start a pre-contest diet if I have never done it before? Also, what advice would you give for it being my first show and don't know anyone who's done one? Any websites you would recommend? Yeah, contact us if you want to do a show. It's always good to be part of a team. There's such a bigger picture when you're a part of a team, and you get put into a show and coached through it. So there's no weak links. When it comes down to your posing, your tanning, and this and that, and you have all these things that by yourself you may forget about. And just having those people to put those things in order, that have connections that, okay, 6 weeks out, we got to get your suit, we got to get your bikini. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. And while you're having to deal with those psychological aspects of dieting and your diet, the last thing you want to do is have the stress of, oh shit, I got to, register for this and register for that. So ultimately it's in your best interest to, hire a coach or hire, a team to bring you in, properly.
And they'll do all the thinking for you. It takes a lot less off you, and it's just better that way. So you can focus on...
And as far as how many weeks out you should start, it depends where you're at right now. So, if you were somebody contacting me and be like, hey, I want to do a show, the first thing I'd need to see is your pictures. I got to see where you're at. If you're naturally lean and you're a hard gainer or something, we wouldn't need to diet for 12 weeks. So this whole 12 week, it's that's the magic number. It takes however long it takes. If you're really fat and you're trying to do a show, you're going to probably have to diet longer or diet harder. If you're just naturally lean, you may only need 4 or 5 weeks and then just aim to be peaked really well. So there's no sense in taking somebody who's already naturally lean and putting them through a 12-week, just because 12 is this magic, contest prep thing. So you'll be ready when you're ready. And hiring a coach who has an eye for these things is going to be able to see you and be like, okay, I can get that person ready. If you do everything I say, I can have that person ready in 6, 8, 10, 15 weeks. Right. So if you have a coach in mind, send him your pictures. If you want our help, send us your pictures, man. We'll give you our honest opinion. We'll get you going.
Next question's from Martin Fitness 85. What would you say is the best way to preserve as much muscle as possible during prep? Heavy lifting, lighter weight, or something else?
Preserving muscle while on prep. Heavy weight first of all, weight is all relative. Okay, what's going to preserve your muscle, one, is keeping your body in an anabolic state. So if that means throwing in the BCAAs, that means a substantial amount of protein for your body type and for your goal. And also, it's not so much heavy weight or lightweight, it's contracting your weight or contracting your muscle in a full range of motion, lengthening and shortening your muscle. The weight is just a tool, right? So it's not about how should I be heavy, should I be light. You need to use the appropriate amount to contract your muscle with good form in the hypertrophy range. So if you're doing upper body, and your rep range is is 10 to 15. Then you need to figure out what weight works for you so that you're grinding out, barely 10 reps, 11 reps, 12 reps, lower body maybe a little bit higher, 15 to 20 reps. But it ultimately comes down to your ability to contract your muscle with your brain. It's not about moving weight in bodybuilding. If we're talking just aesthetics and developing your physique, you need to be able to initiate with the working muscle, right? So none of this swinging. If I'm trying to grow my biceps, I need to put this muscle under load and I need to initiate. The first thought that goes from my brain is straight to my biceps. So that's the first thing that moves. Not my back, not my front delts, not my legs. They're not taking any of that load. All the load's going straight to my bicep, or else you're just doing more work and dispersing more energy throughout your body to make it more efficient, which it's used to doing. So you really got to establish that mind-muscle connection, and you really got to really contract the muscle to either grow, to maintain, preserve muscle. It doesn't matter. If the goal is the physique that you're trying to develop aesthetically, you got to be able to contract your muscle. And the better contraction you're going to have through your brain, the better you're going to be able to preserve your muscle. So it's not about heavy weight, it's not about lightweight, it's about appropriate weight.
And if you're on the right amount of protein for your body and you're doing your prep correctly, and it's all about balance, you're drinking your BCAAs, good amount of cardio, you're not really going to lose muscle. You're gonna drop your carbs, you're gonna lose fat, but as far as losing muscle, it takes a lot more than that. And like I said, if you're doing it correctly, you're not going to be losing or burning your muscle.
Right, and you might be burning a little bit. We're talking on very, very minor amounts, and that's only when you get super, super lean, when your body starts to preferentially burn muscle instead of fat.
Because that's all.
But even then, a lot of people think they're burning off way more muscle than they really are because their carbs are down, their body's not holding as much glycogen. You look flatter, you're weaker. It's an illusion. But it's like, it's an illusion, right? It's like the sponge analogy that I had in the other video. You fill up a sponge, you wring it out. The sponge is still there. It's just holding less water. So your muscles just be activated a little bit less. You're not using as much muscle. The second you have carbs, you load up on calories, you're gonna fill back out. You're like, oh damn, I didn't lose anything at all.
Yeah.
Here it is. So you really got to be able to deal with the psychological aspects of dieting too.
All right. Next question's from Crazy Eye 26. What would you recommend for someone who is just starting out in the gym and no sense of direction when it comes to starting to want to build muscle naturally without supplements and working to eat clean?
I like that. That's what it's all about right there. Is starting off with the basics, eating clean, and not going to the supplements right away. Everyone, I'm gonna get fit. What should I take? What should I buy? I go straight to the supplements. No, you need to figure out what the hell you're doing inside of the gym, and don't follow the pack necessarily on this one. Maybe find somebody who knows what they're doing, and learn the principles of the way your body works. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to grow? Are we trying to get stronger? Are we trying to develop muscle? So we got to figure out how to do that, and really understanding how the body works and what you're doing in the gym is a huge fundamental in being able to develop your physique. So you could practice all the bad habits all day long, and you might see a little bit of gain, but you're not going to be working optimally towards your goal. So if it's developing your physique, learn the basics inside of the gym, really get that mind-muscle connection and be able to contract all your muscles appropriately. And really, if I was going to tell a beginner, stick to the basic, get on the bodybuilding bro split, backs and buys, chest and tries, legs, arms, shoulders. That's the best way to do it. Like, people, professional bodybuilders, you could ask them and be like, dude, what's your split? Oh, it's the same shit I was doing 20 years ago. The intensity increases and decreases, the volume, the weight goes up, but it's like on chest day you blast chest. You don't have time for shoulders and this and that. If you're trying to grow, you blast chest. These are big groups of muscles, and
focus on them.
You got to focus on them. So if you're bench pressing and doing all this weight and powerlifting, you're just going to get a lot of central nervous system activation. So really you need to take it slow, start with the lighter weight, and really learn how to contract individual muscles with your brain, and then start increasing the weight as that mind muscle connection really gets more profound. And as far as your diet, keep eating clean. Once you know what you're doing inside of the gym, then it's then it's time to start eating towards your goal. So knowing how much you're going to eat, and again, in your case, eating clean is important, but it's not. You're not going to see any benefit if you're not eating towards your goals calorically. So you could be, like I say to a lot of people, you could be eating the cleanest foods in the world, but if you're under eating or overeating, you're not gonna be reaching your goal. You'll be healthier, absolutely. You'll have those vitamins, those nutrients, those micronutrients in you, and your body will be functioning great. But as far as burning fat or building muscle, you got to know how much you're eating calorically to be going towards your goal. So, really it starts with training, then gets to your nutrition, then it's back to training, because there's always things you're going to be learning implicitly too that people can't teach you. I mean, you fire your muscles with your brain. Nobody can think for you. So it all comes down to your mind-muscle connection.
Yeah.
And that's something that needs to be developed over a lifetime of lifting.
Yeah.
Just when I think I'm like, oh man, I'm really starting to contract my bicep, it gets more prominent every day. Mm-hmm. And that's something that no one can do for you. You really gotta just develop that connection to each and every muscle group by yourself. And just keep always looking for the more optimal answer. As far as nutrition, as far as training, always be willing to learn more and associate yourself with a like-minded group of people that are interested in what you're doing and are about their fitness goals, or trying to eat healthy, and really feed off of them. Always ask questions, and that's the best way.
I always say knowledge is the best way to build muscle.
Yeah.
Stay hungry for knowledge. Always learn, constantly strive to improve yourself, and next thing you know, you'll look back and realize how far you've come as far as, your physique.
All right, guys, that's it. Taylor Martin, Brian Martinez, Slow Fit, and we're out.